All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do an experiment here. And what I've done is I put 8 ounces of heavy whipping cream into a 1 quart mason jar, and I'm gonna go ahead and shake it. And throughout the shaking process, I'm going to stop when I notice different change points during the process of making butter, so you guys can go ahead and make it and know where you're at in the process. Okay, so it's been about a minute. I've been shaking, and just to give us a little baseline here, the mason jar is pretty coated, and you can actually hear the heavy whipping cream sloshing around. So I'll go ahead and I'll come back at the next phase. So it's right around the 5-minute mark, and you can see that the mason jar is pretty well coated. And at this point, if you listen, things have gotten really quiet. So we're right around 5 minutes. We're gonna keep shaking, and I'll stop at the, I'll come back at the next phase. All right, so now if you've noticed, it's, we're starting to see some of the heavy cream, the shaken heavy cream pull away from the sides of the mason jar, and this is about 7.5 minutes. So I'm gonna keep shaking, and I'll be back at the next phase. All right, so here we are at the next stage. You can see that we're starting to get a nice clump forming, and this is about 9.5, almost 10 minutes. So this isn't butter yet. We're getting there. We're almost there. Gotta keep shaking. All right, so it has been 15 minutes, and we have on the left, we have our nice little clump of butter, and on the right, we have our buttermilk. So on the left, the butter is actually the fat out of the heavy whipping cream. And on the right, the buttermilk is the leftover water and milk solids. So buttermilk is actually low in fat, which is very interesting because I thought it was contrary, being buttermilk, that it was rich and buttery. And the interesting part is that it does have a wonderful buttery taste to it, and that's due to the milk solids. So if you are making your own butter, just keep in mind that you can see actually here in the bottom of the dish with the butter, that more of the buttermilk is coming out of the butter. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and just squeeze your butter either through some kind of cloth, just to get all of that moisture out of there, because the buttermilk itself only lasts for a few days and it will spoil your butter. Another important note is that this butter is unsalted butter. If you want to add flavorings such as salt, you could probably even add garlic, maybe some cinnamon or some nutmeg to get a flavored butter. You would do that before you actually start to shake your butter. So just keep that in mind, and happy making butter.